All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakwidash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting a good fight of faith and truth, in sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believers. Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Just gonna get straight into it. Got 2 videos to show. Give my little commentary. Get some scriptures. And just let you know the time that we are in.
Gasoline prices are rising once again. Nationwide, a gallon of regular is now just shy of $4. That's 12 cents up from last week and more than $1 since the war started at the end of February. CBS's Lindsay Reiser's in New York and has more on the rising cost of summer travel. Lindsay.
Good evening, Jerika. Oil powers the economy, so from driving to flying to getting deliveries, Americans are feeling it. As missiles rain down on Iran, instability and uncertainty reign over the oil market. Ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz has dropped to a single-digit trickle, according to the maritime tracking firm Kepler, as energy prices surge again.
It's ridiculous, man. Who wants to pay $6, $7 for gas? It's ridiculous.
The new pain at the pump comes at the height of summer travel. American and Alaska Airlines reporting their busiest days of the season this weekend.
Affordability is a challenge.
On CBS's Face the Nation, Bank of America's CEO Brian Moynihan said companies making goods now are factoring in higher energy costs and passing them along to the consumer.
And that's why our team has inflation staying higher all the way into 27, 28.
Crude oil futures have surged 10% in the last week. A barrel of the international standard Brent crude is around $88, still below the wartime peak of more than $100 this spring. Jerika?
All right, Lindsay Reiser in New York. Thank you.
So, as you see, remember I just did a video a couple days ago when Trump got on the podium talking about how everything is all good and prices is coming down, and basically he had that make America great again, rhetoric. And you see that's not the case. All right. So what's really going on in the world is that when we say this, right, as you see right there, instability, but that's what I want to title this video. Instability will happen as a thief in the night. So when we read this scripture, we ain't just reading it because, ooh, it sounds cool. No, this is what's going to happen. The other video is going to go into it a little bit more. It's saying, suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. That is unexpected. That's actually what instability means. Okay, unpredictable, unstable. That's what this system is built on right now. It's unstable. So when it comes to us, what did the Lord say? Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability, which is the opposite of instability, all right, of thy times. So we have our eye on what's really going on in the world. We don't listen to what the propaganda news have to say. We looking at it with a real reality eye. The reality is that it takes 60 days for shipments to get over here. The last shipments that America received was back in April. We in July. So that means that the reason that it seems stable right now is because before the war started, it was already shipments going out. But they're running out. So that means at any time, as the scripture said, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses should suddenly be found empty. And the video that I'm about to show next, I talked about this back in March. Okay? About the shipments is going to eventually run out, because if it's no more ships is coming out of the Strait of Hormuz right now. That's 20% of the global oil and 30% of the world fertilizer. So all of these things, the eastern part of the world is suffering more than us right now, but it's trickling down. See, since America is cheap, because America have a lot of oil, but it's not refined, The oil that's over there in the Middle East is already refined. It's already ready to go. Esau don't want people, he don't want to pay people to frack, all right, which is to get the oil out of the ground. He don't want to pay people to frack, then refine it. And then how would you be able to sell it globally? Because the oil fields, if I'm not mistaken, Texas and Idaho. Okay. And all of this is to fulfill prophecy anyway, because it said that she would be rich by the sea. See, America is the biggest consumer. At one point in time, it was the biggest producer, but now it's a consumer. All right. So the Lord been destroying this place, and now it's coming to a head because prophecy got to happen.
This is an oil tanker. And the thing to know about an oil tanker is that it's really, really big. 4 soccer fields long, it carries 2 or 3 million barrels of oil, and it weighs more than a skyscraper, all of which makes it slow, 10 or 15 knots. That is, no joke, the speed of a bicycle. Our global energy supply lines move at the speed of a Schwinn. And let me show you on this globe why that's important.
So real quick, now remember America, they already had oil reserves themselves. They already had stockpile of oil already. Now, like I said, and then they had shipments, coming on top of that before the war. So, they got oil that can last a little bit long, but it's been, let me see, April, okay, May, June, July, we heading into August. It's about 3.5 months approaching about the last time that America received any type of oil. So basically, it's like, I like to use this analogy. It's like a nigga that hit the lotto. Let's say you hit the lotto for 3 million. And let's say that you, before taxes, all right, you actually, so you probably hit it for 5, but you end up getting 3. Okay. Because of Uncle Sam. So you got 3 million, but you have no money coming in. You're just spending. You don't got no job. You don't got no hustle. You hit the lotto off of a scratch ticket. All right. So you got, I don't like to use the word lucky, but we're going to use it for the sake of my argument, because actually coming across money being a nigga is not a blessing. So anyways, so you end up getting lucky and you scratch ticket. You got 5 million, you end up getting 3 million after taxes. And now you don't know nothing. You never even had that type of money before. So all you doing is going to go buy some cars. You're going to go buy a house. Cool. All of that's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But after you put money into your car and your house, and you're going to buy some jewelry, you're going to buy some Jordans, you definitely going to get some hoes. So yeah, after that, then what? You don't got no job, you don't got no business, you don't got no income. So that money going to go by fast. This is just like the oil.
You biked all day. How much of this globe do you think you could cross? Like maybe the width of the point of this pen, right? Maybe. You worked really hard. Okay. Now imagine hopping on your 12 speed starting in Dubai. Where's Dubai? Here we go. Starting in Dubai. And now imagine that you have to bike out of Dubai all the way down here, down the coast of Africa, down, across the Cape of Good Hope, back up the other coast of Africa, all the way across the Atlantic, through the Caribbean, before finally arriving at the deepwater oil port in Louisiana. That would take forever on a bike, right? Which, remember, is the speed that these oil tankers go. Like, that is how our oil travels, as if it were on a bike. And maybe you see where I'm going with this. This is a map of global oil flows put together by JP Morgan. Don't worry about all this text. We'll explain it in a minute. These red lines show the oil coming out of the Middle East, going out to the rest of the world. This is the stuff that's been cut off. Here it is back in December before the war. There it goes. The oil is flowing. But remember, it moves at the speed of a bunch of bicycles. So now it's January, and the oil is just finally reaching parts of Asia and Europe. And we're into February before it hits the US, and then it hits refineries in South Korea that then sends it on down these pink lines to Australia and New Zealand. So when the war starts and the oil stops flowing, there's actually still a ton out there, taking its long, lazy little bike ride around the globe. That's a big part of why things seem weirdly normal. For most countries, the oil shutdown has not reached us yet. We're still getting shipments that were sent out before the war started. So when
Now remember, this video was made back in April. And I think I made a video back in March about this type of topic because I was just using logic. If oil have been stopped since February and the oil is going out, talk about the oil that was already going out, then it finally reach. It takes about, I said, 45 to 60 days to reach here. So then after that, then what? So then when that run out, then what? And then what the prophet's been telling you. This is all orchestrated anyway. Because the Lord is the master chess player. He's also, working on the king's heart to fulfill prophecy. Israel couldn't get out of this war if they tried, because that's not the will of the Lord. America can't get out of this war if they tried, because that's not the will of the Lord. So they heart is hardened, as the scripture says, for the Lord's purpose, to show his power. So their heart is hardened. They thought they was going to go into Iran and destroy it like they did Venezuela, or basically a hostile takeover like they did Venezuela. And no, now you in World War III, buddy. But at the same time, they still have plans. They still have plans on, setting up the digital infrastructure. There's so much going on right now. That's why you have to stick to prophecy. All right. The Lord is working. But let's get back to the video. It's almost over.
Those shipments stop. If you look at that map again, it says most deliveries to the US will stop around April 15th. In Europe, they stop around April 10th. Asia, April 1st, so it's just getting started. But here in parts of Africa, it's March 20th. We're already well into it. And that's even hitting places like the US, where we are still receiving oil from before the war started. Countries whose shipments ran out are creating this big surge in demand. So anytime you go to the pump or pay your power bill, you are bidding against them and they are bidding against you. And all of this is going to get significantly worse when China
and Europe, okay? So, just going to read through this. Behold, the plagues are drawing nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child bringeth forth her son, in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. 3 hours of her birth great pains could pass her womb, which pains when the child come forth, they slack not a moment. All right? So, this is the time that we are in. This is why this is like really my top 3 favorite set of scriptures when it comes to prophecy. So it says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. And this is why the Lord is saying this, as we're about to continue to read. But I'm going to put it like this, for I could just read through it. Put it like this. Because this is what all of this stuff is going to lead to. Oops. It said, "Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to your battle, and then those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth." Because you got to understand, when this actually hit as the sown places of being unsown, this is what all of this is going to bring. It's going to bring, friends fighting each other like enemies, people destroying and spoiling people's houses because of lack of bread and great tribulation. Okay? So it said, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. The Lord is telling you that if you have hope in this world, you must don't know the will of the Lord. So it said, he that buyeth as one that will lose, he that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit buy, he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein, he that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that should not gather the grapes, they that marry. So even, listen, the Lord is telling you that it's not going to pan out well for you. You don't understand the will of the Lord. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers, and therefore they that labor in vain. So this is what the Lord is telling you. That's why you need to seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. Because when the Lord, pull the plug on this thing, and allow that devil to come down with great wrath and Jacob's trouble and all of that, it's going to get real. Your job ain't going to mean nothing. Money ain't going to mean nothing. Only your faith is going to mean something. Okay? And most people don't have that, because that's a gift, as it says in Ephesians 2:8. So it says for strangers. So this is the other thing that people don't think about. All the people that's here, all the migrants that was allowed in under the Biden administration, okay? The sleeper cells. Now you got the ICE agents. For strangers shall reap their fruit, spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives, for in captivity and famine shall they get children. Why? Because the society is going to be broken down. Everybody's going to be, it's going to be the survival of the fittest. All right, the same people that's going to be spoiling, destroying your house, they're going to be going through it too. They're going to have more than you, because obviously they're going to be paid by the government. All right, this is peace troopers, sleeper cells, ICE agents, all of that. So it said, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, their own persons, the more I will be angry with them for their sins, saith the Lord. So this is what's coming. Anytime, you can see instability, and it will come as a thief in the night. So you better seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. Shalom.